Now, this was quite the standard matchmaking for players on the Asian server yesterday after update 1.20.1 rolled out. 10 versus 10 or 11v11, 12 versus 12. I received replays from different array of matchmakings from the Asian server. Now, the update 1.20.1 is almost identical to all the other servers, what, EU got, what NA got. We have the, as you can see, recon missions, random events, and dynamic cover, the improved crew perk system. We have a new branch Japanese tank destroyers, onslaught event, VOT plus, battle pass collection, like everything is over here. But guys, I did skip over one thing what all the other servers did not have: the random battle matchmaker updates. Starting from update 1.20.1, we will implement some important improvements exclusively on the Asia server to provide you with a quicker and more dynamic matchmaking experience. The matchmaker will now seek to create successively smaller team sizes on all maps up to a minimum of 10v10, which, to my knowledge, was one of the most common ones. Also, the number of tank destroyers on selected maps, Prokhorovka, Malinovka, Studyanki and Murvanka, will be limited to 3 per team by default. We expect these rules to create a shift in combat dynamics and open up opportunities to try fresh tactics, new loadouts or different vehicle selections. And when we click this read more button over here, this takes us to the dedicated random battle matchmaker update on the Asian server article. And let me tell you guys, I have not seen Asian server players that mad before, right? But for a good reason actually. Now, that said, not every single player is hating this. There are actually a lot of players who want to see and who would be okay with this type of matchmaking, gives you various options, 10v10, 11v11 and so on. But with some improvements, with some big improvements, they all agree on the fact that it is definitely not okay in the current state. Because Wargaming did not put a lot of thought behind this when they rolled out, or a lot of testing, I mean. And overall, like, it came out of nowhere. Players updated their game, they had no clue that this was on, and when I started streaming during the update day, right, they are saying, how are you guys getting 15 versus 15 team? Like, what is going on? I'm only getting 10v10, 11v11, like what the hell is going on? And then, more and more people came to the stream asking basically, and under my previous video as well, where I featured the update 1.20.1s and everything you need to know in quick format in, 197 seconds. A lot of Asian players came under the comment section saying like this is absolute BS because it is going to mess up so many things. Ladies and gentlemen, think about missions. You have a lot less HP on the battlefield. How are you going to complete some missions with which requires you to do certain amount of damage to certain amount of vehicles? I'm going to go over some missions in a second as well, guys, so stay tuned for that. But it's just, mind-blowing that they didn't think about that, or they didn't change anything about that. And Mark of Excellence, of course, is going to be messed up over here. Ace tankers are going to be messed up over here, but those things recalibrate, let's say, if the matchmaker would be like that for 2 weeks, of course, the Ace tanker would drop on all the vehicles, then also the Mark of Excellence would drop all the vehicles as well. So overall, in a nutshell, it is like going to stay as hard as it was before, or as easy as it was before, because it is going to recalibrate on for every single one, for every single player, based on the new matchmaking. But still, it is like so weird that the players received this update without any prior information. This is my main point over here. And if we are going to the forum as well, you see you see so much anger and some, constructive criticism as well. For example, like this player over here, I will be blunt. This matchmaking chains absolutely sucks. I have not had a decent game since the update. No light tanks in any of them. RT feels like it's back to Viper's side because there are fewer players to take their attention. You know, you get bombarded more often because of that, right? The common map strats have been thrown out of the window. Not to mention, how am I meant to complete my campaigns now that there aren't enough tanks in the game anymore? It's not like the queue times were horrendous either. When playing on a Hong Kong server, I am aus and don't even touch our own server nowadays. And also some other comments: the matchmaking is absolutely terrible. I assume you are reducing the number of players to prevent tier 8 to play against tier 10, you know, which would be absolutely fine. +-1 matchmaking is what a lot of players actually want to at least try out wargaming, at least give us a chance to test it out and tell you how it feels, right? But I guess then the preferential premium tanks would not sell that good. I hope, guys, I honestly hope this has to be a Photoshop. This has to be a Photoshop. Please tell me this is a Photoshop. Hi, how can I opt out of the 10v10 matches? They are absolutely terrible. I don't want to play them. Thanks. All players are on equal footing when it comes to receiving an additional gift. Large boxes feature guaranteed vehicle mechanic. It's simple. If you open 40 boxes, you get your vehicle in the box number 50. This has to be Photoshop. Come on. Like, stop messing with me. This cannot be their support answer. Is it? Like, please tell me it's the Photoshop, right? And you know, I can go on and on and on, and players honestly really did not receive this well. Now, if we look at this video, for example, over here, they mention basically what I already covered in this part of the article, but over here they are mentioning, you know, limiting the matchmaking, limiting the light tanks, tank destroyers, and so on. Now, there are a couple good things what I would like to see, actually, you know, for example, limiting light tanks. There really is no reason to have more than 2 light tanks per battle. It just gets way too chaotic. Your light tanks now are fighting between each other as well. They're fighting with enemy light tanks, and they're fighting with their own light tanks as well, because many light tank players are actually just completing missions, trying to get some assistance, or a lot of it, to complete some missions. But if you have constantly 3, 4, or in some cases 5, 6, 7, 8 light tanks per team, depends which tier you are playing, it is not that easy to complete any missions, and overall it is like a bit chaotic, I would say so. And also limiting the tank destroyers would be nice, but all of that would be nice in 15 versus 15 battles, I would say so, myself at least. You know, because there have been battles with 7 or maybe even 8 tank destroyers per side, which is not that rare, honestly speaking. And it's just, on some maps, it makes the battles unbelievably campy. You know, you move, you get spotted, you lose. Basically, whoever has more patience, right? Now, from the other side, I was looking into a lot of feedback, players' feedbacks. There are not everyone who are hating these chains. Like, they would like to test out, you know, some different variety of battles as well. 10v10, 11v11, 12v12, and so on. What they are getting over there. But yeah, the main concern is the missions. And it actually blows my mind that they come out with something like that without thinking about the missions. Because it honestly makes some missions almost impossible to complete. So let's actually take a look at a couple missions to acquire, let's say, object 260. Let's take object 260 as an example. You know, finish the battle as the top player. That would be easy, right? Spot 8 enemy vehicles. Now, if this mission is not reworked, right? You get into a 10v10 battle. Well, guess what? You have to spot 80% of the tanks on the enemy side. Okay, not impossible, but a lot harder. Once again, it's like basically forcing you to suicide scout a bit. Now, cause damage 6 times to enemy vehicles. That should spot 6 enemy tanks. That should be easy. Immobilize, you know, this enable your arrows to destroy 3 vehicles. 6 enemy tanks spotted. And cause damage to 2 enemy SPGs. In 10v10, For example, how often are you going to get 2 SPGs? Mostly 1, I guess. Let's see, cap the base, spot 6 vehicles well unspotted, easy. Okay, so light tanks, there are some light tanks missions which are still going to be easy, but some light tank missions which are going to be like, you know, pretty hardcore. And of course, to get like this, let's say 15. Damage cost, including damage cost with your assistance, must total 8,000. So 8,000 combined you have to get. With 10 players, 11 players on the enemy side, this is way harder to complete, because enemy team simply has a lot less HP on the battlefield. And if they spread out their flanks as well, you know, that's a big problem. So let's take a look at medium tank missions, for example. Oh, medium tank 15, for example, cause 3,500 HP of damage to enemy tank destroyers. There are going to be many battles, many battles when you try to complete this mission where you do not even have 3,500 HP of enemy tank destroyers in total. And even if you do, you have to basically get every single drop of HP damage from those guys. Destroy 6 tanks in 10v10, destroy 60% of the enemy team, right? Cause 6k of damage. You know, all the damage numbers are going to be harder and harder and harder. Of course, 8 times by shooting, that's very easy mission, right? Overall, destroy 3 enemy medium tanks. You know, if you are going to have 3 medium tanks over here, destroy 1 SPG, cause damage 3 times the enemy SPG by shooting them. So, you know, HE into the track, steal a little bit of damage and whatnot. Now, talking about the heavy tank 15, cause, receive and block a total of 14,000 damage. How much harder do you think this mission is going to be, guys? How much harder do you think this is going to be, right? Destroy 5 enemy vehicles of 3 different types. 3 in the first 4 minutes of the battle. Okay, this is, what is this? Have a total of HP blocked exceeding 3 times your hit points. Alright. Cause 4,000 HP of damage. Beat it up player, destroy, yada yada yada. Okay, so some missions like the heavy tank 15 way harder, but some missions, you know, still quite easily completable. Let's see, 8,000 of damage. You need definitely for this, well, it is doable in 10v10 as well, but 10 times harder. You need 15 versus 15 for that, just to have more HP to farm, basically. To deal 8,000 damage in 10v10, that would be quite an achievement, I would say so. 25% of the total amount of damage caused by your team. That actually, this mission, I would say, is made easier, right? Because it's percentage based. You have 10v10, for example, and you have, you know, less total HP on the battlefield. Destroy 5 tanks, you know, just going over missions over here, mission after mission, and this is only for Object 260. There are very hard Object 279E missions as well. But yeah, as I said, there are players who absolutely hate this, who are super mad about this, that there was like no communication coming out like that. You know, players who are working on Mark of Excellence now have to wait for the Mark of Excellence to recalibrate, and how it is going to recalibrate ace tankers and of course the missions. But there are players who would like to keep it in the game and would like to see this moving forward with the limited number of vehicles from different classes. As I said, I would like to see that as well, but in 15 versus 15, for example. Now, I would like to ask, what do you think about that, ladies and gentlemen? Would you like to test something like this out on other servers as well? In, like, my personal opinion is that I would not. Like, if I want to play different versus different amount of battles, I think there should be just different game modes for that. Like, we have the Onslaught going on right now, or we have the Frontline, right? 30 versus 30, we have the Grand Battles. We have different game modes for stuff like that. To make the queue times faster, I feel like this is always the laziest answer Wargaming is giving. To make the queue times faster, because I don't know about you. Okay, so once again, let me know in the comment section what's your take on it. But I would rather wait extra 30 seconds, extra 1 minute maybe even, in the queue to get a solid matchmaking. A solid battle which I'm going to enjoy. I don't want to be 30 seconds faster in the match to win it 15-0 or to lose it 0-15 or 0-10 in this case, right? So, guys, a little bit different video for you today. Just, you know, covering what is happening on the Asian server. I don't know what they're doing over there. Are they using this server as the testing ground? But yeah, what is your take on it, guys? Let me know in the comment section down below, please, too. And I will see you next time with something else. Stay awesome, stay beautiful, take care, and bye.